Ches Halacha Ches. Rambam begins there. Shekor Oisei Chachamim Olam Habo. This is the Chacham called Olam Habo. Lo Yimnei She'ein Motzui Ato. It's not because now it's not there. Zeh Olam Oived V'Hagach Yovei Oisei Ha'olam. It doesn't mean that this world will cease and there'll be another world. We'll go down to the Peirush. That if it says Olam Habo, it means the world to come. That it's not there yet. So he says that's not what it means. Ein Adover, that's not the reason. Ela Harehu Motzi V'Oimed. It is something that exists and stands. Shenema, as it says, Asher Tzofantolo, which you hid, Po'alto, and you caused it to exist, meaning activated it. This is the posuk that says, Marav Tuvcha Asher Tzofantolo V'Yecho. How great is that which you have hidden for you, those who fear you. Po'alto, you cause it to happen, to be created for those who rely on you. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu already created it. Lo karu olam habo, it's only called the world to come. That life, come to a person after he's existed in this world. We live in this world in a physical body and a soul. And that's what's found first, and therefore the other one comes later. Now, we find in the Medrash Tanchuma that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Chacham have already made known to us that the goodness of the world to come, there is no person who can comprehend it or understand it, or compare it and its beauty and its awesomeness, because it has nothing we can compare, can value it by, or visualize it. The Pasuk says in Yeshayahu, "I am leroso alikim zolosecho." There is no eye that has seen that which God has created, which you have created for those who wait for you, meaning the goodness that no eye has ever seen, except for you, God, that has seen it. And that's what is called Olam Habo. Not because it's not found now, but because we in this world have a future. That's why it's called Olam Habo. After a person leaves this world, and somebody says this world is lost, and then there'll be a new world, that is not the case. Tzaddikim, when they leave this world, immediately enter the world above. As it says in Tehillim, as we mentioned in Tehillim 35:20, the Rae Gann disagrees. Avram said, that was his name, the Rae Gann said Avram. It would seem like he is denying that their world will not at some point cease to exist. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will then renew it. And we learned in Sanhedrin 97a that the world only exists 6,000 years, and 1,000 it will lay in destruction or non-existence. Now, we find out that it's a new world. If that's the case, how could the Rambam tell us that the Olam Hazeh does not become destroyed at some point and not have another world? As the Mishnah explains, according to what we learned in Halacha base, the Rambam also admits that there will be a time of resurrection, and that's called a different type of Olam Habo, like the Gemara in Sanhedrin. What the Rambam is talking about here, we'll turn the page, only applies to what he calls Olam Habo. That's this world that the Schar Tzadikim is immediate, after death. And that's an Olam Habo that will come after this world, because then there's no existence whatsoever. that for 1,000 years, except that the souls somehow remain in a state of limbo. Zayda Mishnah. The Master Shekel asks a question. According to the Raiva, he only calls Olam Haba the world of the souls. He does not call it the world of the souls like the Rambam, but he's talking about the world that will exist after this world ceases to exist, and there will be Tchias HaMesim. So he says, what about the tzaddikim when they pass away? Don't they get reward? They have to wait until all these 7,000 years pass. That's the 6,000 years that the world exists, and then the 1,000 years where it's not existing in its temporal form. It is chas v'shalom to say that. Certainly, the Rambam also agrees that there's a world of the neshama, in which the tzaddikim enjoy when they pass from this world, like the Rambam said. That the Rambam calls it Olam Haba, and the Rambam calls it Olam HaNeshamis. Rambam calls it the future world, the world to come, and the Rambam calls it the world of the souls. What it says in Divrei Chacham Olam Haba, that according to the Rambam is the world after resurrection of the dead. But certainly, even the Olam HaNeshamis, according to the Rambam, happens immediately after the tzaddikim pass on, and they exist there until there will be this world that will be created for only to the tzaddikim in the future. The main disagreement of the Ravad, say the Mishnah says, is that the Tana in Tana B'Elio says 6,000 years the world will exist, and the Rambam mentions it. He knew it in Moreh Nevuchim. Just somebody who studies his words over there will see that the Rambam is of the opinion that this world need not cease to exist, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu created everything from nothing. In other words, there was no existence prior to God's creation of the world for an existence that we understand. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do with what he has just as he desires. It's like anyone who creates something from material can do so. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do it even from not material. As we say on Leil Yom Kippur, when the world is actually renewed because of the Kapor of Yom Kippur, we say, and we don't know how this works. We don't know if HaKadosh Baruch Hu will desire to continue the world or to return the world to Torah Lavoyu. The Rae and the Rambam are of the opinion that this 6,000 years the world will exist. That definitely will take place. So this is a disagreement between the Rambam and the Ravad and the Ramban, if the world has to cease. In fact, the Ramban says if you're living in the year 5,999, in the 364th, 5th day of the year, and in the last hour of the day, and you don't believe the world will cease to exist, he says it will be a lack of amunah. Let us all hope we'll get to that point and be able to have our amunah, but for our present generation, statistics don't seem to fulfill out that we'll be able to get to that point, unless Mashiach comes before then and people will live forever, and then we'll find out for sure. Because everything exists only from the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the question is whether the statement of Chazal is based upon the fact of the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to create the world, and it will cease because he didn't want it to last longer, or whether this is the minimum that the world will exist, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will decide what to do with the world as he does anyway. And we have completed Perek Ches, and we'll go to Perek Tes.